Life in Goloka 28 Days Program Synarchy. This time we focused on devotion, that is Bhakti. During the first week, we were working on the suffering part. So we were asked to write down our sufferings which we had during the past 1 month or few weeks before the process began. So we had processes on our suffering, and after that we were also given a lot of healing was done during this particular time. And then during from the second week onwards, we started reading scriptures. That is, earlier during these programs, we used to be given teachings. So this time we didn't have a lot of teachings as such, but we were instead asked to read this particular scripture called Bhakti Rasamrita Siddhu. So we read those scriptures and we were given Dikshas. So during the first week we were asked to read, and then later on we were not really instructed to read it, but still when I found that my guru came in a little late, or I found if he was a little busy with something, what we used to do is we used to read the scripture. We used to go through the scripture without wasting the time, and lots of chakra marma meditation were done during these time. Almost every day we had meditation, chakra meditations. So I could see a lot of difference in me. Usually during the programs, like if it's 3 days or 21 days programs which I had in the past few years, I used to see myself going up and then coming down within the program. But this time it was it was very different. That is, I was not having any faults during the program, but initially I did have some issues. When I came into the program, I came in with a lot of suffering and a lot of issues, that is on my life, and with regards to my job. I had a lot of job pressure and I was not able to attend the processes also properly. So in between I got deviated to the material part by getting entangled with people. So I just really came out of the divine part, and then I was really losing the focus, and then I was having a lot of suffering based on this. And then when I came into the program, I really didn't have any bhakti or devotion at all. So slowly when we started reading the scripture and when we started getting dikshas, I could see the changes in me. That is, I was having the experience of what I was reading. I was really not understanding what exactly the scripture meant, but I kept on reading the scripture, and we were also given dikshas for each scriptures, like each verses which we read. We were given dikshas, and then I could see the real change in my life at the same time. I could feel the love, that is the devotion, which started flowering in my heart. When I started doing chakra meditations, after a few days, like when we went through the scriptures, I could really feel my heart flowering, and I could really feel that my heart was filled with love. I've never felt like this before. Even though I have felt it earlier, it used to be for a very short period of time. But now, this time, it was very intense. That bhakti and the love, everything was so intense that you don't feel like going out of it. You really feel like staying in that. And I could also feel that I was radiating this love to my family members and to people around me. That is, earlier I used to be very grumpy, very angry. I was very serious. I was not very. I have a son who's 6 years old. He really wants me to play with him. He wants my time. I know that, but I was not able to give myself fully to him or play with him. I never used to enjoy playing with him. I used to play with him earlier just for the sake of playing, and I was not really enjoying that part. But this time I could feel that I was really enjoying myself playing with my son. And I understood that that seriousness inside me just vanished, and I started becoming playful like a child when I play with him. And I could also feel him, enjoying it, and I could feel him coming closer to me, becoming more closer to me, because I started radiating that love, and I started becoming, what he wanted me to be. It's not because of me, it's all because of that bhakti and devotion, which just started coming inside. I could feel Krishna fully filled in myself. So when this happened, everything changed in me automatically. And also, the relationship with my husband has also changed after attending this program. I should not say after, but during this program itself, I could see the changes in me. That is, I started becoming more lovable. I started, before I used to complain and criticize and judge him a lot, but I just stopped it instantaneously. It's not because he did something, that I should stop. It just came automatically. I could feel what he was feeling. I started becoming more compassionate to him. It's all because of Krishna, and nothing that I have done personally, or nothing I have changed. So when we went through these scriptures, all these changes started coming. And I could also feel that my husband and me, we both became more close. I could, whenever I was listening to Krishna's devotional song, I can feel my heart starts melting with that song. I could really feel that Krishna was filled inside me. And when I listened to the song, my husband automatically came and sat next to me, and I could also feel him getting into that love. It was not that, we spoke something romantically or we did something. Nothing of those sorts. We never spoke to each other for that time. We were just in that Krishna's love, enjoying listening to that song. We were feeling as if we were in some other world. I could really feel that, and I could also feel that my husband was having that kind of feeling. So, and even in my behavior towards him has also changed a lot. So he was telling me earlier, you had that selfishness inside you where you used to say mine, everything is like self-centric. Now that has changed, and he was also really happy. Now earlier he used to have some issues, me doing processes like, why are you being here for very long time, what is the point, and all that. But now he knows that change he has seen in me. So he has no issues at all. He really loves me attending processes, because I am changing in that way, because I was not a person like this at all earlier. So that's one major change in my relationship. I never ever thought I could have this kind of a change in our relationship, because it wasn't going so well in the beginning actually. So then this started happening, and I had a point of time where I thought nothing would change, nothing would really become okay. These things will go on like this, but everything really changed so fast. It's all because of Krishna. When you get into that devotion of Krishna, it happens automatically. And that too, devotion is not something that we can get it by ourselves. We need to have the blessings and grace from Krishna and our Guru. Only then we can have this. Otherwise, no matter how we try, we cannot have this. So I have this direct experience. I've never had it before at all. And also, when devotion started coming, devotion started flowing in my heart. I could feel that, uh, as though I am falling in love for the first time. Whenever you fall in love for the first time, you always think about a person, about the loved ones, right? So same way, when I listen to Krishna's songs, I automatically feel that I'm in love with Krishna, and I keep conversing with Krishna within my heart. I be very quiet. I'm a very talkative person, and that external talking has reduced. I mean, that chattering part has reduced, but internally I am conversing with Krishna, and I love enjoying my time. That is my space alone when no one else is there. That's the time when I converse with Krishna. So that's a very different feel. I've never done it. I mean, I was asked to converse to Krishna earlier, but it never happened. You don't feel something is there, or no. When you converse, it's like earlier when I converse, it's like just me talking. But now I can feel Krishna talking to me also. So this is a very different experience which I've never had, and that too, this was sustaining for a very long period of time. Earlier, this I used to have such experiences just when I be in the process, and when I come out of the process and I go back down. But this time it was sustaining. So I was really enjoying that time. Spending the time with Krishna was very, very enjoyable. And also listening to scriptures and stories of Krishna also has made a different change. Earlier we have learned scripture like Bhagavad Gita and Garga Samhita. So I knew all the stories. I have heard the stories from my mentors, but I've never felt anything at that particular time. I used to listen to a normal story, like, okay, yeah, this is happening. But this time during process, the scripture was read out again, and I could feel that emotions in my heart, and I could feel my heart was filled with love, and I used to sit and cry. I don't cry because I'm sad. We usually cry when we are sad or upset, but this was the tears of joy, and tears flowing out because you have a devotion filled in your heart. That's the reason why I cried, and I used to cry, and I used to love that. I had pleasure crying. First time I experienced pleasure while crying. So that was very, very different experience for me. I've never ever felt like this before. And this was staying for a very long time. It wasn't staying for a very short period of time, but it was staying for a very, very long time. That was very different for me. And one day I was reading the scripture. So at that time I thought I'll invoke the presence and I'll read the scripture. And I was invoking the presence by playing one of the songs from Synarchy Music. And randomly I just picked up a song and I played that music, and I was keeping my eyes closed, and I could see a golden light in my heart. And then that appeared to be Paramatma, that is the super soul. I saw Krishna with Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and that was very, very different. I've never seen that while invoking my presence or anything of those sort. And I could feel he is inside, right inside my heart. And automatically my eyes was filled with tears, and I was crying with love. And as soon as the song got over, I opened my eyes, and then I saw at the end of the song the same image which I saw in my heart. So that was a very different experience. I've not seen something like that while invoking the presence before. So I have so many beautiful experiences like this, and also have a lot of Goloka experience. One time I could see Goloka, and that time I could see Radha's shawl over a big mountain, and it was spread over the mountain. This was during, I guess it was during the first 2 weeks of the program, and I could see that my guru, Dr. Tej, was holding my hands and he was pulling me up the mountain. And me and one another participant, Remya, both of us, he was holding our hands and he was like, not to worry, I'm there for you. And then he was just pulling us, and then we got at the top of the mountain, and then he changed to be his form changed to Krishna's form, and we all also changed to Radha. So I have so many beautiful experiences like this. In one of the session during Goloka travel, I saw Goloka underwater, completely underwater. I could see the lotus floating under the water, and me holding the lotus, and the lotus was, taking me to the direction where I had to be. So, and all that is very different. And soon after seeing this, I went and saw the movie Avatar 2, and and then I felt like I saw the same thing during the past few weeks, during the process when we had Goloka travel. That was very, very different. I never seen something like that. When I see something in Goloka, same thing happening in life. So that was, I was really surprised. Oh, okay, is this Krishna showing this to me again? Also, my enthusiasm level has changed. It has increased. I'm basically a very, very lazy person who don't like reading, who don't like doing anything for myself. So I could feel that now there's a change in me. That is, earlier someone has to be behind me. They have to push me to get their things done, or for myself. So this time, I think for 1 or 2 days, Dr. Tej asked us to read the scripture at, giving this particular times, during this particular time slot, please sit and read. So then onwards, when I don't see him coming in the Zoom, we automatically take the book, and I'll call the other participant. We both sit together and we read the scriptures. This has never happened before. That is, someone has to come and tell me to do this or to do that. So that has changed. And also my sleep, my quality of sleep has improved, and the timing of my sleep has decreased. Earlier I used to sleep a lot more than what is required. Even if I sleep for 8 hours, again I used to feel very tired, and I feel like sleeping more. I wake up in the morning, I do some work, and then again I go back to sleep. I used to be like that before, but now that has changed. Now I don't sleep a lot like before. Maybe 5 hours I sleep, but that 5 hours is a very good sleep, very good quality time of sleep I have. I'm not disturbed. I'm having a very deep sleep, and after that I'm fresh. I don't feel like going to bed after that. So this has also changed. Earlier it wasn't like that at all. And also my food cravings have reduced. Earlier I used to crave food a lot, and if I have any issues or if I am in some stress, I have stress eating, so I used to go find snacks, some sweets, or whatever I get to eat, I eat. So that has stopped, and now I eat only when I'm hungry. I don't really go behind food, or I don't indulge myself in food. And also have stopped eating non-veg. Before I used to have non-vegetarian food. I used to wait for process to be over, and immediately I used to indulge in food or eating non-veg. But this time I have stopped. The process is not there anymore. We are done with the process, but still I don't feel like eating non-vegetarian food. I don't know why. I cook non-vegetarian food for my other family members, but it never tempts me. Even if they buy food from outside, or if we go to a restaurant, I really don't feel like eating non-vegetarian food. It never tempts me. So that is a very big change. And I think because of that also, the uh, bhakti has also, the way you feel Krishna, the love Krishna is radiating, all that we can feel more in a better way, because we get purer when we stop having all these things. There are days when I felt like, I'm fully immersed in Krishna's love and I don't feel like sleeping. There were days when I was staying awake till night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., listening to Krishna songs. And even my husband was there with me. He was also not sleeping. He was also listening to the songs, and he was also in that love. At that particular time, we don't even feel like talking to each other. It's not that, you feel like being very talkative, or it's like you love being in that Krishna's love. So, and I've seen that I don't talk a lot like before. Earlier, I used to talk to people. I'm a talkative person, so I used to talk to people a lot, and I always had a feeling like, I need some kind of attention from people, or if I need to be happy, I need something externally. I had that kind of a feeling earlier, but now I don't feel that anymore. Even if you have nothing, you can be very happy if Krishna is there with you. If you have that devotion inside you, if you have that love rising inside you, that divine love, then you don't really need anything else from outside, because you'll be fully filled and you will be radiating the love to the other people. So actually this kind of change started coming into my life when I started doing seva. I wasn't aware that I was doing seva at that particular time, because I mentioned earlier in this video that we were reading scriptures. So I was not asked to read scriptures every time, but still I kept on reading with the other participants. So that became a seva, reading the scripture to them. But I never did it intentionally, to get something out of it. It was just naturally. I felt like, okay, we'll read the scripture. So because of that, this kind of transformation came into my life. That's why this is sustaining for a very long time. Now I know the importance of seva. When you do seva, only then these things sustain. So this was a very, very beautiful experience, and I love to be here for a very long time. And I love to be in this mode of bhakti, and I'm enjoying a lot being in this way. And even my family, everyone is happy this way. The other way, everyone was suffering, including me. Usually when we have such kinds of programs, we have earlier many programs. We have daily blessing, and we have every month we have 3 days program, and in every 6 months we have 21 days program. So usually when these programs are held, this is actually my 3rd year with Synarchy. So when these programs are held, it's usually longer sessions. We'll have teachings, we'll have longer sessions going on. And this time it was very, very short actually. We had we had very few hours each day, but it was so intense. I never expected it will be so intense. I was thinking initially, why are the sessions so short? It's supposed to be long, but even though if it was short, I had intense experience, and I've never experienced like this before. That is, when we read about the bhakti, the levels of bhakti, I could literally experience it in my life each and every day. So this was very new for me. It's all because of Dr. Tej. Thank you so much for being there for me, and I wish that everyone could experience such love, such states, and I wish everyone could be in this state forever. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Lots of love, gratitude.